Good evening. Welcome to the Master of Arts in Higher Education, Master of Arts in Interactive Media, Master of Business Administration, Master of Science in Accounting, Master of Science in Business Analytics, Master of Science in Management commencement ceremony. At this time, please silence all electronic devices. Those who are able, please stand for the processional.
The faculty of the Martha and Spencer Love School of Business, the School of Communications, and the Dr. Joe Watts Williams School of Education present the Elon University Graduate Class 2022.
join me in singing the national anthem.
Please join with me in a moment of reflection and centering. Graduates, you will never have this moment again. It is fleeting, so experience it fully. Cherish it for all that it is, a moment for pride in your accomplishments, a celebration of all that you may have overcome to get to this moment, a testimony to the legacies of those on whose shoulders you stand, a time for thanksgiving to the cherished ones who have guided you on this path. Just as Hebrew scriptures indicate that there is a time for everything on earth, this is a time of looking backward, of living fully in the present, but also of looking forward to new pathways and journeys, of anticipation of what is to come. While the path that brought you here is already set, and the moment that we sit in now is fixed, it is up to you to determine what it is that you will do with your next steps. How will you use them? To what purpose? To what end? As we celebrate you tonight, know that we are celebrating the Numen Lumen within each of you, the intellectual and the spiritual light that we know will lead and guide you as you leave your alma mater as newly minted alumni, and as you determine and live into your next steps. Many of the world's religious, spiritual, moral, and ethical traditions talk about the centrality of the meaning of light. The purpose of light is to balance, to illuminate, to uncover, and to expose all that is not for the betterment of ourselves and the world that we inhabit. May you use the light of your Elon education, skills, knowledge, and experiences to be that light in the world. May you lead us all in the pursuit of a life well lived, a life in pursuit of what is good and just. May you indeed be a light unto yourself. Please be seated.
Good evening. My name is Raghu Tarepalli, and I'm the Dean of the Martha and Spencer Love School of Business. On behalf of my colleagues in the Dr. Joe Watts Williams School of Education, the School of Communications, and the Love School of Business, I'm delighted to welcome you, your parents, partners, children, and friends to today's graduation ceremony. The ceremony you're about to participate in today is both solemn and joyous. Solemn because it is the culmination of hard work, in many cases balancing work, family, and studies, and reflects the desire in each of you to achieve a graduate degree from one of the nation's best universities. The ceremony is also joyous because once President Book declares you to be the holders of graduate degrees, you have achieved that which you have worked so hard for. As you wait for your name to be called, I hope you reflect on what it has taken to get to this point, and to think of the many people you should thank once the ceremony concludes. Once again, welcome to this ceremony. My colleagues, your parents, partners, children, friends, and I join you in celebrating what you have achieved.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ann Bullock, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Dean of the Dr. Joe Watts Williams School of Education here at Elon. It is my honor tonight to introduce our student speaker for this evening, Ms. Carrie Jean King. Ms. King holds a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Dance, a Master of Fine Arts in Choreography, and a North Carolina teaching license. Tonight, she will receive her Master of Arts in Interactive Media. Prior to entering the iMedia program, Ms. King had an adventurous career that connects to all three schools here tonight. She began her career as a professional dancer and has been a public school educator, design intern for a character education company, and owned her own business. Through all of these jobs, she has furthered her passion of promoting growth and authenticity of people, regardless of the role she held. Carrie lives in Greensboro with her husband, Aaron, and their 9-year-old son, Wyatt. Both of these individuals bring great joy to our life. Please join me in welcoming Carrie to the podium.
Thank you. Good evening, President Book, Provost Valetti, Dean Bullock, Dean Ford, Dean Tadapali, faculty and staff of the Martha Spencer Love School of Business, School of Communications, Dr. Joe Watts Williams School of Education, family, friends, and my fellow candidates. I am so honored to have been nominated and selected as tonight's student speaker. I know that I would not be standing before you tonight had I not had the support, encouragement, and love of my husband Aaron, son Wyatt, and other family who have made sacrifices during my time here in order for me to achieve this amazing accomplishment. I'm proud to have my parents, in-laws, husband, and son here to celebrate with me tonight. On behalf of all of the candidates, thank you to the family and friends who have stuck by us and helped us through this journey. We're so happy to have you here to celebrate. Class of 2022, congratulations. We made it. Grad school is no easy feat, but through hard work, determination, and drive, we will be hooded as masters in our respective areas tonight. We have been lucky to go through this journey as a group, supporting each other along the way. I know today is bittersweet, as it feels we've grown together and will soon be saying goodbye to our newly formed extended families. I love my new iMedia family. When I was asked to speak, I started to think about what we all have in common across our different programs, and the obvious came up. We each chose to continue our education regardless of the life stage we were in previously, and to do so here at Elon. This may sound simple, but both are significant. We are lifelong learners. Lifelong learning is defined as the ongoing, voluntary, and self-motivated pursuit of knowledge for either personal or professional reasons. The benefits of lifelong learning go so much deeper than improvement of the brain or the mental benefits one might imagine. Lifelong learning has proven to help people succeed in the workplace, stay connected, feel fulfilled, adapt to change, and find meaning in life. Though we've experienced different majors and concentrations, we have all had the privilege to learn and grow in a resource and relationship-rich environment. This is a campus where people who want to learn don't just learn, but thrive, but because of the resourcefulness, accessibility, and inclusiveness that is Elon. Here we've experienced a resource-rich environment with an abundance of everything necessary to grow. We have been given once-in-a-lifetime experiences and opportunities that will impact our lives for years to come. Unfortunately, at some point in your career, you will find yourself in an environment where resources are limited. But have no fear, as we've developed the skills to find and gather information needed when it isn't presented to us or not in the way that resonates with us. When you're in a resource-depleted environment, you will understand how to be creative and how to achieve what's necessary because of the resiliency and resourcefulness that you've developed at Elon. The greatest of those resources I mentioned are the people. We have had faculty and staff across campus willing to help in whatever ways needed, who genuinely care about our growth and development. Thank you to the Elon faculty and staff in the business, education, and iMedia programs who have supported us along our journey. The skills and content knowledge that we've gained from our individual programs will allow us to become leaders in our respective fields. I also know that many of my accomplishments have stemmed from the relationships that I've built. Maya Angelou says it best. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. There has not been a day here at Elon where I didn't feel supported by those around me, my classmates, my faculty, everyone I encountered on this campus. A few decades ago, my husband graduated from Elon, and when I first met him, coming from Massachusetts, I didn't know Elon, and I said, "Why did you choose to go there?" And he said, "I wanted to be in a place where the professors know your name and where they invest in you not only as a student, but a person." This is the Elon way, and I can say that this year, as alumni have come back to share, network, and encourage my iMedia cohort, it's obvious that they too were deeply impacted by the relationship-rich environment here. My hope for each of you as we leave Elon is that you stay curious, continue to seek out learning opportunities, and use the tenacity that you've gained in your graduate studies to propel you forward and make the world a better place. In your new workspaces, take not only what you learned inside of the classroom, but also apply the lessons learned beyond the classroom walls to build an environment where everyone feels supported and you are remembered for how you made others feel, as those are essential qualities in every field. Congratulations and best of luck as you begin a new journey to make a difference in our world. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rochelle Ford, the Dean of the School of Communications. And Carrie, you're a beautiful teacup today. Media has the power to transform, to inform, to entertain, to influence people. There is power in shaping realities of people through the power of television and streaming and cable and mobile content. And what that content is and how it is delivered and who helps to underwrite that content, the business behind it, is what our commencement speaker is in. Can you say analytics, anyone? Carol Cunningham is a Vice President of Consumer Insights and Business Strategy at BET Networks, where she leverages data to speak across cultures, to engage people, and ultimately to help brands understand their customers. She is a cultural innovator, a champion for highlighting the real experiences and perspectives of people. Through comprehensive research, she translates data into actionable insights. Her experience and knowledge speaks the language of culture and intimately understanding things like fandoms. Indeed, she educates business leaders, marketing professionals, and other leaders about the changing demographics and lifestyles of America and others in the wider diaspora. Her research insights for companies like PepsiCo and Mountain Dew and Dorito brands have led to a stellar design and highly engaging content and ad concepts that translated brands' values into a way of thinking that was relatable and authentic and honest and bold with great intention. The creative concepts and integral insights that she has helped to develop have been recognized by Advertising Week, Adweek's most engaging and prominent creative award. A native of Miami, Florida, her parents are from Cuba and Honduras. They emphasize education, and Carol excelled. She graduated from the S.I. Newhouse School of Public Communications at Syracuse University, where she fell in love with media data. She has designed more than 40 groundbreaking consumer studies to advance efforts in driving multicultural engagement and strengthening data collection, CRM design. While others only see black and white, she sees details. She relishes in the opportunity to swim in data and to dive into that gray matter. That's where she has been able to find gold and helps brands win. In 2019, Carol joined Elon's University's National Advisory Board for the School of Communications because of her excitement of our campus-wide efforts in analytics, especially media analytics. In 2021, she inspired our Elon's campus through her insights at the virtual Black Solidarity Conference. And today, we welcome Carol Cunningham as our commencement speaker.
Good evening. It is an honor to be here. First, I'd like to acknowledge the trust and warm reception of your president, Dr. Book, the Provost Valetti, the President's office staff, and most especially Carrie Taylor, who's been like a glove to me while I've been here. Esteemed deans and faculty, I thank you for leading these graduates through their rigorous studies. The fact that you've given me this opportunity to be your speaker tonight is not lost on me at all. I'm absolutely humbled by and immensely aware of the daunting task you've placed before me. But I thought to myself, what do I have to say to these graduates, your loving families and friends who've joined you here tonight? How can I share all of the things that I know now that I wish I knew back then when I was sitting in an auditorium very similar to this at Syracuse University? And how can I pass along words of wisdom that will inspire you to dream big, reach for the stars, and love what you're doing always and in all ways? I promise you it's not always about the money you earn, but the enduring passion you find when you're doing something that really, really matters to you. I will say this though, good luck convincing your parents that it's not always about the salary you'll earn after they've paid for your undergraduate and graduate educations. If they're anything like my parents, it will take many years for you to reassure them of your vision. But once you get in a rhythm around your passions, they'll get it. I promise you they'll really get it. In my family, there was no other choice but to attend college. I was the first to graduate, and I'm proud to say that I'm not the last. You wouldn't know it by my last name, Cunningham, but both of my parents are Hispanic. My mother was born in Cuba, and her mother was from Barbados, and her father was Polynesian. And my father was born in Honduras. His parents were a mixture of Jamaican, Belizean, and Dutch descent. To say I truly represent a melting pot is an understatement. So imagine me growing up in Miami with the female version of Ricky Ricardo from I Love Lucy. My mother's accent was so heavy that even I had to get a dictionary to break down what she was saying in English. And my father was the Black Hispanic version of Monty Hall, where everything was about, let's make a deal, kid. I first learned the art of negotiating with my dad, who had opinions about everything. And he was surrounded by 5 girls and his wife with 1 bathroom. You can imagine what that must have been like for him. And I heard him tell my mother one day that all he wanted was a clean bathroom when he had a chance to go to work. My father worked at United Airlines, and every week he would bid on his shift, and it would be different from week to week. One late night, when my papi got home, I realized I could give him something he wanted, and I could get something that I needed too. I wanted an increase in my allowance, so I negotiated with him and told him, if I make sure that you have a clean bathroom every time you go to work, would you add $5 more to my allowance? What I quickly realized is that I also hated the way our bathroom was after several of the older girls used it as well. So I would meet with my papi every week and find out his schedule, and I would have that bathroom brand spanking clean. And while I was cleaning it for him, I also realized I could use it myself before others got to it. Sometimes he had an afternoon shift, a midnight shift, or an early morning shift, but he always had a clean bathroom, and I always had an extra $5 of allowance. I was consistent with that mission, and there were times when my father would reward me with more than $5. It was my first taste of figuring out how to make a situation work to my advantage, and it wouldn't be the last. What did I learn from my parents? They had a work ethic that never ceased to amaze me. They held family and helping others in their circle in the highest of regards. They wore that as a badge of honor, and it wasn't until my father's passing during this pandemic that I learned of all the things my father did for family. My father and mother were able to do that. They sponsored 14 of my father's siblings for citizenship in this country. They helped family and friends with rent, mortgages, or car payments because they really epitomized the spirit of each one reach one. Do what you can to help others and it will come back to you. You know, at the time when I was hearing all those stories about my dad, I started thinking I probably could have asked him for more than an extra $5 a week if he had all that money that he was giving out to others. But my family members talked about how they couldn't wait for their citizenship papers to be completed because they loved the opportunity that this country provided. And I know my life would not have been the same if my mother and father hadn't come to this country to pursue their dreams. James and Estella reminded us daily of what the United States represented for our family. And they had a love for education that was absolutely relentless. I remember my mother sacrificing to make sure we had an encyclopedia set at the house, and we were told every day that we would accomplish our educations by any means necessary. And when I think of the numerous shifts my father would work at United Airlines to put me through school, and the domestic work my mother did for the Archdiocese of Miami as she cleaned several priest quarters and the convents within a 5-mile radius in Miami, so we all could attend Catholic school at a discount. We all studied really hard, I promise you. There was no other choice but to excel and achieve your dreams because my success was ultimately their success. If they were able to be here now, I could just hear my mother saying, and remember my mother's Cuban, so she has a very heavy accent, "Don't be long-winded. I can hear you telling them what you do, but I just think you're very, very nosy." My mother would say I was nosy, and I would always say to her, I'm highly curious. I had an opportunity to be in sales early on in my career, and I never regretted not taking it. But if you know anything about sales and media, it's where you make obscene amounts of money. But my passions led me to be really interested in consumers, their lifestyles, their motivations, what drives them, why they believe what they believe and value the things that they do. And I've always been really intrigued about all of their consumption behaviors and the spending power they have in this multiverse world of linear TV, of digital, of social, and OTT streaming. My career as a consumer insights, consumer engagement, and business strategy personnel have allowed me to be present and present to the CEOs of Fortune 100 and 500 companies and help them see what I see. I fancy myself a little bit of a data scientist geek, a consumer insights storyteller, and I hope a masterful graphic designer who can bring a PowerPoint to life. Anytime you see what I do, it really helps you understand who these consumers are, and it helps you recognize why they are a significant demographic target that can increasingly impact every brand you have at your company. What I do is to persuade you, to coax thoughts out of you, and I definitely don't leave you alone until you see what I see and everything you need to see. I can hear my mother saying it now, they don't get it. So let me see if I can give you an example that would help you get it. We used to have these long, drawn-out debates, but they were really very brutal, passionate arguments at BET, Viacom, CBS, now recently named Paramount Global. where creatives hated the researchers telling them that they couldn't just create content for only TVs. They had to think about cell phones and tablets too. And no matter how many data points I brought them, they didn't believe it at all because their gut was telling them that their magical content was only meant to be on television. I tried to tell them that Gen Zennials have the attention span of a gnat, and they multitask at the speed of light. And you know that it's true. You've seen your kids doing it. They scroll through their phones on IG, they have the TV on, they're playing music, and they're working on their computers all at the same time. I talked to them about having snackable content, no more than 3 to 5 minutes if you want to catch their attention. And I was getting so tired of saying the same thing over and over and over again that I thought to myself, it's falling on deaf ears, and we're literally at odds every day with one another. So maybe I'll do something kind of graphic. I designed a study with 5,000 multicultural millennials between the ages of 14 to 36, and I asked them point blank in my survey, would you rather lose your arm, a leg, or a cell phone? Some people would say that's crazy, but that's how much conviction I had about creating content for every device. What do you think those 5,000 plus Gen Zennials said? 57% of them said they'd rather lose a leg, 43% said they sacrifice an arm, while 0% said that they would rather lose their cell phone. So that put every argument we ever had to rest. I finally got them to understand that it was about completing the user experience wherever they go and whatever they do. Stop thinking about cannibalizing and siphoning from one platform to another, and just provide the content in every way imaginable, and they will reward you with engaged and lengthy viewing. Now, I realized that I probably needed to give them a space in the survey to explain why their leg or arm, and they practically gave us a dissertation on why they could go through life at only one leg and why it was absolutely necessary to have 2 arms. They needed their arms ultimately because they needed their fingers to scroll, text, like, share, and create content for their many followers. In that study, I was telling Dean Ford, we also asked those 5,000 folks for selfies. We didn't think that they would take, on average, 24 selfies for every one survey that they completed. It was ridiculous. They didn't look any different. You guys can look at your phone, look this way, go 1 degree more, go 1 degree, and they all look the same to us. But to you, they look different. At the end of it, they also needed to help us understand a couple of things. So you know what else we learned from them in that study? We needed to catch their attention. We couldn't send them shows at 7, 8, or 9 p.m. because we needed them to know that they were really important. So we started figuring out that we could send them show promos at 1 and 2 and 3 a.m. in the morning. The later the better, and they would break their necks to see what we sent them. You ever watch a bunch of young people and see what happens to them when their phones start dinging, telling them that they have a message? If you're talking to them, they completely ignore you. Their eyes glaze over and they intently focus on whatever's been sent to them, and they start scrolling relentlessly. And that's what we realized. The most second valuable learning that we had was our open-end rates in those wee morning hours were the highest we had ever achieved with 18 to 24-year-olds, and a resounding success. So now we know how to push content to young people to make it exclusive to them, and we know that they'll break their neck to see it. All of you are entering a workforce that's phenomenally untapped, and I'm expecting the next Elon Musk, not so crazy, Jeff Bezos, Arianna Huffington, or Bitcoin or cryptocurrency king or queen to come from this audience. When I think about what we're doing with artificial intelligence and virtual worlds, we no longer need to take your word about watching TV or commercials. We can now hook you up to neuron sensors, and we actually see if an ad holds your attention or not. We're starting to do that with actual TV shows that we develop. We used to spend so much money on focus groups, and respondents would ultimately tell us all the things they thought we wanted to hear. But I got really smart, and I didn't want to hear these canned answers anymore. So if we were in their homes, we made them navigate and tell us everywhere they were going. And they talked about the importance of news and educational shows and documentaries, and all I heard was blah, 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 like that character in Charlie Brown. What they didn't know is that I was going to do a DVR audit of everything that they were watching while we were paying them the $350. And my first question to them was, after they told me about everything that they thought we wanted to hear, I went to their DVR and I said, why do you have 60 episodes of Love and Hip Hop Los Angeles? Why do you have all these episodes of Power and The Real Housewives of Atlanta? Where is this love for news and education and documentaries that you speak of? We see none of it. Talk to us about this. And if I learned anything from this pandemic, I learned about being an innovative disruptor, curating and creating content for change and doing good, making a connection with others. I think we all need to start making a connection again. We were so isolated for too long in lockdown. Get back to connecting with one another. I'm challenging you all to speak up, engage, and connect with others in a very real and necessary way. We're asking consumers to step outside of the familiar, what comforts them, and to open themselves up and become highly experiential human beings. And in my eyes, the most compelling part of that statement is human. Please immerse yourselves in new cultures. Imagine what it must be like to walk in the shoes of someone who isn't anything like you. Isn't that what living, learning, and connecting with someone is all about? I challenge you to explore new locales, listen to different music, and learn new languages. Doing all of these things should stimulate our endorphins and give our soul life. For the last 18 months, I've been helping Procter & Gamble, Unilever, McDonald's, Bank of America, PepsiCo, Frito-Lay, Nissan, and Ford. Trust me, I probably worked with more than 80+ brands in that span of time. My goal was to help them understand a chase value construct where I wanted them to identify all the things that their brands meant. But at the same time, while you're chasing these consumers, they only really value brands that connect and speak to them directly. And I challenged them all to understand, what is your brand bravery all about? I spent nearly 2 years asking these brands to be intentional in their efforts to consumers. But it made me realize that the blueprint I created for them could very well be the very foundation for your own personal human bravery. I ask you to lead with boldness, be directed in your attention, operate with transparency and authenticity, really embrace being transformative. We need you to always be solutions-oriented. This world is riddled with enough problems. We don't need any more. Focus on being an agent of cultural change. I talk to brands about shaping, shifting, and sharing culture. Couldn't we all do that too? Embrace our love truths and find your soul's force. Walk connected to others by unifying and amplifying your voices so that they're embodying the spirit of each one reach one. Not too radically different than a book my mom made our family read, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Number 1 is to be impeccable with your words. Speak with integrity. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Number 2, don't take anything personally. You have to learn to be immune to the opinions of others. And it's okay to agree to disagree, because the real win is in the discourse that's taking place. Number 3, don't make assumptions. Find the courage to express what you really want. Number 4, always do your best and recognize that your best can change from moment to moment. Just a quick aside, my mother is 87 years old and suffering from dementia. And when I visited her Mother's Day, I asked her about the 4 agreements, and she recited them back to me without any hesitation in Spanish. That made me realize that all we need is right here and right here, our brain and our hearts. That's the purest form of succeeding. And if that doesn't get you to believe in yourself, I'm going to leave you with 3 books that will change your freaking life. And I mean that. When the world seems to be horrible and you just don't see a way out, pick up a book by Jen Sincero called You're a Badass: How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life on Your Terms. It will right any wrong that you're feeling. Next book, when you're thinking you can't figure this person out and they're driving you crazy at work, read a book called The Like Switch, an FBI agent's guide to influencing, attracting, and winning people over by Jack Schaefer, where he outlines all of the body language and signals you need to understand if people are going to be receptive to you. I used this one time to my advantage. The book teaches you all about FBI agents and what they do in surveillance. I studied our president of sales patterns, and I realized if I could get him one-on-one in the elevator, and he asked me what I was working on, I would start by saying, here's what I think would be amazingly beneficial to you. And I had my elevator pitch ready to go. By the time we got from the 27th floor to the lobby, I scored an additional $500,000 to study 8,000 multicultural Gen Zers, because I recognized they had their finger on the pulse of what's hot, what's next, and what matters. And my last book, What Got You Here Won't Get You There, by Marshall Goldsmith and Mark Reeder. Whether you're at the top of the ladder, on the middle rung, or smack dab at the bottom, don't be afraid to start where you are and live a life that manifests every inspiration and aspiration that you have. That's how successful people become even more successful. So I'm leaving you to know that you're awesome badasses who understand how to influence, attract and win people over. And while you're being highly successful and brilliant, disruptive innovators, I challenge you to follow the blueprint for your own personal human bravery. And if you're bold enough to reach out to me on LinkedIn and tell me how things are going with you and what you're doing to each one reach one every day of your life, I promise you I'll write you back. Congratulations, graduates, on a job well done. I'm always absolutely beaming for you in all ways and always. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cunningham, for engaging, inspiring, and challenging comments. All candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Accounting, the Master of Science in Business Analytics, the Master of Science in Management, or the Master of Science in Business Administration, please stand. Madam President, those who stand before you have fulfilled all the requirements, both as to quantity and quality for their degrees. It is my pleasure to present them for conferral of their degree.
By virtue of the authority of the state of North Carolina, vested in me through the Board of Trustees of Elon University, I confer upon you, as members of this graduating class and as individuals, the degrees of the Master of Science in Accounting, the Master of Science in Business Analytics, the Master of Science in Management, or the Master of Business Administration, which entitles you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
The following have completed requirements for the Master of Science in Accounting. Dean Anzelon. Dean has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Jacob Becknell. Jacob has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. In absentia, John Caro. John has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. In absentia, Carson Jones. Carson has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Taylor Cassie. Taylor has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Joshua Lim. Joshua has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Sarah Jane McCarthy. Sarah has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Caitlin Munsami. Caitlin has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Kira Teresa Motley. Kira has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. In absentia, Bennett O'Brien. Bennett has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Giovanna Papavero. Giovanna has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Nick Stewart. Nick has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Ryan Stolba. Ryan has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. In absentia, Aisling Sullivan. Aisling has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Leah Tremamoller. Leah has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. The following have completed requirements for the Master of Science in Business Analytics. Ahmed Al-Saba. Ahmed has an undergraduate degree from Bahrain Polytech University. Suma Amajuri. Suma has an undergraduate degree from Jawaharlal Nehru Institute of Technology. Irene Shu. Irene has an undergraduate degree from Hong Kong Baptist University. Matthew Etzel. Matthew has an undergraduate degree from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. Maxwell Ferrari. Maxwell has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Kyle Frankel. Kyle has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Graham Hutchinson. Graham has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Frank Ecobel. Frank has an undergraduate degree from Miami University. Samara Ingram. Samara has an undergraduate degree from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Tristan Mazzoli. Tristan has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Israel Pattison. Israel has an undergraduate degree from Roanoke College. Alexander Taylor. Alexander has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Adele Vedgerti. Adele has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. The following have completed requirements for the Master of Science in Management. Catherine Parsons. Catherine has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. The following have completed requirements for the Master of Business Administration. Hunter Amos. Hunter has an undergraduate degree from Syracuse University. Corey Bell. Corey has an undergraduate degree from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Ashley Nicole Capps. Ashley Nicole has an undergraduate degree from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Henry Karkoff. Henry has an undergraduate degree from Ferrum College. Salvador Catapano. Salvador has an undergraduate degree from Liberty University. Stephen Devane. Stephen has an undergraduate degree from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. In absentia, Hannah Doherty. Hannah has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Derek Durbin. Derek has an undergraduate degree from Waynesboro University. In absentia, KJ Fondacum. KJ has an undergraduate degree from North Carolina State University. Brandon Freeman. Brandon has an undergraduate degree from East Carolina University. Nicole Garcia Jorge. Nicole has an undergraduate degree from Central University of the East. Alicia Harris. Alicia has an undergraduate degree from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Blaze Hubbard. Blaze has an undergraduate degree from University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Renita Julian. Renita has an undergraduate degree from Strayer University. Akinsola Kayod. Akinsola has an undergraduate degree from Appalachian State University. Mark Lath. Mark has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Rosetta Littlejohn. Rosetta has an undergraduate degree from North Carolina A&T State University. Graham Morris. Graham has an undergraduate degree from Appalachian State University. Mark Morton. Mark has an undergraduate degree from Berry College. Iris Padella. Iris has an undergraduate degree from Belmont University. McKenna Quinn. McKenna has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. Benjamin Richardson. Benjamin has an undergraduate degree from North Carolina State University. Charles Rizzo. Charles has an undergraduate degree from James Madison University. Eric Roman. Eric has an undergraduate degree from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Chad Rumley. Chad has an undergraduate degree from Elon University. In absentia, Nicole Sketchberg. Nicole has an undergraduate degree from Colorado State University. Emily Scorcini. Emily has an undergraduate degree from University of South Carolina. James Stanley. James has an undergraduate degree from Morgan State University. Michael Strickland. Michael has an undergraduate degree from North Carolina State University. Victoria Waddle. Victoria has an undergraduate degree from University of North Carolina at Charlotte. Erica Walsh. Erica has an undergraduate degree from Ball State University. Mary Welker. Mary has an undergraduate degree from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. Donovan Williams. Donovan has an undergraduate degree from the University of Connecticut.
All candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in Interactive Media, please stand. Madam President, those who stand before you have fulfilled all the requirements both as to the quantity and quality for their degrees. It is my pleasure to present them for conferral of their degree.
By virtue of the authority of the state of North Carolina, vested in me through the Board of Trustees of Elon University, I confer upon you as members of this graduating class and as individuals the degree of Master of Arts in Interactive Media, which entitles you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
The following have completed requirements for the Master of Arts in Interactive Media. Diamond Aaliyah Carroll, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. Zach Benjamin Fertig, Elon University. Carrie Jean King, Florida State University. Savannah Starr Knight, Elon University. Julia Ann Kosis, Elon University. Du Young Lee, Methodist University. Christina Suzanne Marchand, James Madison University. Anna Luisa Martinez Valles, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. Daniela Sanchez Romero, North Carolina Central University. Alyssa Leticia Sandy, East Carolina University. Emma Ray Sisk, James Madison University. Tyrell Kelvin Smalls, North Carolina Central University. Ivana Danielle Spurlock, Hampton University. Sophia Jacqueline Theriault, Elon University. The following completed requirements for the Master of Arts in Interactive Media in May 2020. It is our pleasure to recognize their accomplishments tonight. Kwame Amponsa, Kwame Nkrumah University. Rakaya Ardesha Bass, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. Tabari Jamal Boykin, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. Arlette Danielle Hawkins, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. Michael David Hemstreet, Elon University. Taya Rashawn Jackson, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. Victoria Elise Murrell, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University.
You may be seated. All candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in Higher Education, please stand. Madam President, those who stand before you have fulfilled all the requirements, both as to the quantity and quality for their degrees. It is my pleasure to present them for conferral of the degree.
By virtue of the authority of the state of North Carolina vested in me through the Board of Trustees of Elon University, I confer upon you as members of this graduating class and as individuals the degree of Master of Arts in Higher Education, which entitles you to all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
The following have completed requirements for the Master of Arts in Higher Education. Shanice Bigelow. Shanice received an undergraduate degree from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. Nicholas Boudreau. Nicholas received an undergraduate degree from the University of Rhode Island. Casey Madeline Enright. Casey received an undergraduate degree from Belmont University. Karina Fonseca. Karina received an undergraduate degree from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Jenna Jabalisco. Jenna received an undergraduate degree from Wagner College. Allison Benay. Allison received a bachelor's degree from Elon University. Emily Phyllis Newman. Emily received a bachelor's degree from Babson College. Norma Rodriguez. Norma received a bachelor's degree from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. Brianna Torres. Brianna received a bachelor's degree from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. In absentia, Mal Williams. Mal received a bachelor's degree from Xavier University. Jamie Wire. Jamie received a bachelor's degree and a master's degree from North Carolina State University. Nelson Raphael Isabel. Nelson received a bachelor's degree from the University of South Florida. Please join me in congratulating the Elon University graduate class of 2022.
Members of the class of 2022, please stand. This is the final charge. Today, we celebrate your outstanding accomplishments, and in addition to the great pride among the family and friends who join us today, I offer my personal congratulations. The faculty and staff in the graduate programs at Elon who have supported you and cheered you on during this process, join me in celebrating this culmination of your hard work. You have learned from a collaborative and rigorous curriculum focused on excellence, an outstanding experience facilitated by the members of the faculty, the staff, the deans, and enriched by partnerships here in Alamance County and around the world. On this day of graduation, I charge you to be resilient and steadfast like the mighty oaks for which Elon is named. Elon, Hebrew for oak. Oh, I love that. Oaks are important at Elon as they symbolize our community's strength. Strength that is now in each of you. I hope that each time you see an acorn or an oak tree like the one we're giving you this evening, that you are reminded of the personal leadership that you have developed during your studies at Elon, strengths and skills that I'm counting on you to use to make a difference in our world. Today, as we envision each of you launching into exciting career paths, I charge you to carry Elon and our values with you always. And I'm going to remind you of those. One is honesty. Be truthful in your work and in your relationships. 2, integrity. Be trustworthy, fair, and ethical. 3, responsibility. Be accountable for your actions. And 4, respect. Be civil. Value the dignity of each and every person. Use Elon's values when you encounter hard choices. Lean on them, lean on each other when you need to reason things out. Remember, we are forever bound together by these values, you, me, your classmates, faculty, staff, Elon. And I hope that you display your Elon diploma proudly in your homes and offices and stay connected to your new alma mater. As Elon alumni, you are lifelong members of the Elon family. Congratulations, class of 2022, and long live Elon.